Welcome to my channel. Today I will be reading from a Reddit user, so let's jump right into it. The Forest That Whispers at Night, a True Camping Horror. Okay, so this happened to me about 5 years ago. It was getting late, so I started a small fire and went to sleep in my car. In the morning after, of course, I got a good night's sleep. I woke up and enjoyed the quiet and the fresh air. After breakfast, I decided to go for a hike. I was going through a messy breakup and needed to get out of the city for some peace and quiet. At first, I just kind of laughed it off. It sounded like the voice was coming from far away, and it was probably just some kids playing a prank. I thought it was weird, but I just kept walking. About 10 minutes later, I heard the voice again say, "Hey, get out of here." By now, I was definitely freaked out. I turned around and started to walk back to my car. Well, I continued on my hike, and about an hour later, I heard the same voice say, "Hey, get out of here." Now, I was a little freaked out, but I decided to push on. I decided to go camping by myself in the Bear-Tooth Wilderness in the early 2010s. I packed up my car and headed out Friday evening after work. I decided to pack up and get the hell out of there. As I was driving out of the forest, I kept hearing what sounded like whispers in the trees. I couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like they were trying to say, "Get out, get out." I didn't stop to investigate because I was scared, but I kept driving until I reached the edge of the forest. I found a nice secluded spot deep in the woods and set up camp. So I'm glad you got out of there okay. But you know, some people would have just kept driving. They would have investigated. Yeah, they wouldn't have just left. No. But I mean, you did the smart thing by leaving. Sometimes when you go camping, you should leave all your valuables at home. You know, if you have some jewelry or something like that, sometimes animals can smell that and they might come into your campsite. And also voices in the forest are pretty common. Sometimes it's just the wind and the trees and it just sounds like there's voices. But I'm glad that you got out of there, okay? That's the most important thing. I'm glad you didn't investigate. Because if you had investigated, you might not be here telling the story today. So yeah, sometimes it's best just to leave things alone. As I'm walking, I hear what I think is a woman's voice saying, "Hey, get out of here." It was at this point that I noticed there were a lot of little pebbles that were arranged in a line kind of like a path. When I got back to my car, I noticed the pebbles in the path were spelled out, "Get out." I have never been back to that camping site, and I haven't gone camping since. Well, that was creepy. Anyways, if you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. It would really help us out. And I'll see you next time. Bye.